All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan, and this is Europe. After the people of Europe, actually, maybe not the people, but their elected representatives decided to open the borders of Europe and let all of this in. Pushing back against illegal migration doesn't mean that you're a racist or you're a bigot or you are dehumanizing other people or you don't see them as your equal. That's not what it means. Because if that's what it meant, then these virtue signaling people, they should leave their house front doors unlocked at all times. Why do they lock their doors? Do they think that people around them are not their equal? Are they not capable of living like civilized human beings? Do they think that these people are criminals? Well, no. That's not what it means. What it means is that your safety is far more important than gambling with your life over some lofty ideal. Yes, I may survive if I leave my door unlocked today, maybe tomorrow. I actually have a pretty good neighborhood, but that would not be a good idea to leave your door unlocked at all times. But your life is not something you gamble away, because for you to die or get seriously injured, you only have to be wrong once. That's the reason why everyone, even the bleeding heart lefty liberals, those purple-haired nose ring wearing lunatics, they all lock their doors. So if you don't want any stranger to come into your house, why would you not do the same for your country? Having an open border, letting anyone in, is akin to leaving your front door unlocked and letting anyone into your house. That is literally gambling with your life and the lives of your loved ones. Apparently, that seems to be the contradictory logic of all these lefty lunatics. And as you can see, what it has done to Europe. And this has started happening in America as well after Biden's open border policy. I remember it happened in America where an Indian man was beheaded in front of his wife and a 14-year-old son by a crazy, unhinged, he was somewhere from South America. Besides the point. The point is, when you let in people from a foreign country and you don't know what mental state they're in, what criminal background they have, then these kind of things are likely to happen. But for some reason, the lefties and the wokes who pretend to care about their fellow humans don't care about their fellow Americans. And I think Trump just ingeniously exposed them. I watched the whole of the State of the Union address. It is amazing, but I've got some good clips that I wanted to comment on because I think these were the highlights of Trump's State of the Union address. This truly is the most iconic moment in any State of the Union address. Trump just exposed the entire woke lefty Democrat movement by asking the question, who do you put first, American citizens or illegal migrants? And these people are so stupid in their Trump derangement syndrome that they don't even realize that what they're doing in spite of Trump is actually hurting them, because every American watched that and you watch it too. Have a listen.
So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Shameless Democrats. Shameless. Look at this. They're all sitting. Wow. 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 Pathetic. Look at this. Pathetic. Pathetic. Shame on these people. How can you claim to be the representatives of the people that you don't even put first? See, these people are so indoctrinated in their worldview that they don't even realize that what they're doing is going against the very foundations of every single democracy. Every single democracy. They might make excuses that, oh no, we don't like the framing of this question, blah, blah, we're not going to play this game with Trump. But I really hope that the American people are watching this. Forget about whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Yes, lofty ideals, we love everyone, all cultures are equal and people, blah, blah. But that's not how nation states work. It just doesn't work that way. The reason why we have nation states is because we have to look at a national level and we have to put our nations first. I used to see myself as a global citizen, that I can go to Europe, I can go to America, I can go to Canada because of shared values and shared interests. However, when I saw Europe getting screwed the way it is getting screwed now, I thought, oh, hang on a second. That can never happen. I was never deluded enough to think that people from Africa or the Middle East or from South Asia, they should also be considered global citizens, not because they are biologically inferior, not at all. That's not the point. But because they're culturally different. In order to have one global passport for everyone, you have to have shared values. And this is the reason why a Swiss can go to France or Germany, a Pole can go to Austria, and they can get along really well. But the moment you throw in, I don't know, a North African or a Sub-Saharan African or a Middle Eastern or even a South Asian into Europe, look what happens. This is what happens. Everything falls apart. Why? Not because one side is more evil than the other. We just have different set of values. In order to build a society, you have to agree upon certain fundamentals. But if people can't agree on certain fundamentals, for example, Muslims cannot believe in free speech. They say, if you say anything about our religion or about our prophet, we're going to behead you.
Of Birmingham will not tolerate the disrespect of our prophet, peace be upon him, and there will be outcomes from your actions. You will have repercussions for your actions. We have been trained from birth that we must defend the honor of our prophet, and we will lay our life on the line.
The West is polar opposite of that. The West said no ideology is beyond criticism. Whether that's Islam or Christianity or communism, whatever that is, we will attack it. We will give freedom to our people to critique it. But when you bring in people from other cultures who don't agree on your fundamental values, then look, this is what happens. In Germany, McDonald's have stopped showing photos of food during Ramadan because that is not nice to Muslims. You see how you compromise on your values, on your way of life, one by one? This is what's happening in Europe, my friends. How long before they say you're women who do not wear headscarves? That is disrespectful to Islam. And watch this. Some idiot, woke, blue-haired, nose-ring-wearing lunatic woman is going to say, you know what? I'm going to show solidarity. Here's the hijab. And then they're going to move on to the niqab. And then they're going to pressure every single woman who doesn't want to conform to this new world.
A woman in a short skirt is abused.
Vigilante.
To not dress like that in Muslim area.
I'm so appalled. We don't care if you're appalled at all.
Muslim patrol.
It's Great Britain.
This
we don't care. It's not so Great Britain. You need to get out of it.
A man the patrol thinks is gay is insulted.
Get out of here quicker then. You're dirty, mate. You're a gay, mate. Get out of here, mate.
In the night time, it turns into a very ugly place like many of the...
Walking through London with Ramesa, you experience an alternate reality where there is no compromise and all conversations are one-sided.
Ultimately, I want to see every single woman in this country covered from head to toe. I want to see the hand of the thief cut. I want to see adulterers stoned to death. I want to see Sharia law in Europe, and I want to see it in America as well. I believe our patrols are a means to an end.
The only thing I would say is that in America and in the United Kingdom, democracy,
backwards one,
but it's a system that allows the people to choose what they want and allows people freedom.
So why can't I choose Sharia? When in Rome, overthrow Caesar, implement the Sharia.
In your home, you can do whatever you want.
But what about in the public? Why can't I tell you to cover up? Am I free to say that?
Because it would be outrageous.
So where's my freedom? Where's my freedom?
You can say it to me, but
okay, so cover up. Wear the hijab.
That's absurd.
That's how you lose freedoms, one by one. You can never please these people. This is pathetic, by the way. Absolutely pathetic. They're all sitting down. What a bunch of losers. They put illegal migrants above American citizens who elected them in. This is why they don't need voting ID. Wow. Pathetic. How pathetic. I'm not even American, and that makes my blood boil. How can these elected people claim to represent the very people that they don't even put at the top of their priority? How is that possible?
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities.
Look at this pathetic.
That protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country. They're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
The founding fathers will be turning in their graves. They did a pretty good job. Don't get me wrong. I love America. American foundational values are the reason why America became the world's most powerful, richest country in the history of humanity.
And perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act.
That's one clip. I think Trump ingeniously exposed these people without even letting these idiots know about the blunder that they made. Ilhan, Omar, and Rashida Tlaib, who hate the US. They absolutely hate the US. And Trump just destroyed them.
We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota
Somali pirates.
remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems.
Look at this woke woman. I don't know who she is. Obviously, she's a congresswoman. She's holding her hand. If we had honest academia, there would be books written about the differences of human cultures and how cultures behave, how people behave collectively. There is a wonderful Somali woman by the name of Ayaan Hirsi Ali. She's smart, elegant, well-spoken. She explained why Somalis behave in that manner, because Somalia is a highly tribal society. So it's been observed that even those people who were scamming the American taxpayers, they were actually distributing money in their Somali community. So everyone knew what was going on. And how they saw it as this is one Somali community, this is our tribe, we have to look out for each other. And they were robbing American taxpayers. And this woman is potentially involved in this because the funding that they use were only made possible by Ilhan Omar's legislations.
It's right here to the USA, and it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates.
Yeah. People don't understand. Even these woke libtards don't understand that there's no such thing as free money. If someone is scamming the government, then it means some other American is actually paying for it. You're subsidizing it. Some people put the number around 10 billion, the Somali scam in Minnesota. Who's going to pay for it? Ordinary Americans who are already paying taxes. Now have a look at this. Now she's going to scream at Donald Trump. Have a look at this.
Sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country. They're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Shrieking voices. USA, 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 USA. But the most disgraceful part of this entire State of the Union speech was when they did not stand up for Irena. Remember that Ukrainian girl who was just minding her own business after finishing her shift at a local pizza joint? She just sat on a train. She made a mistake. She was too trusting, and she was brutally killed. That moment touched me a lot. I know Charlie Kirk died around the same time, just a few days after her. And because I'm a massive pro-Ukraine supporter, my heart goes out to Ukrainian people, what they have endured. She did not deserve this. And look at this. Again, identity politics. Because Irena was killed by a black man and the Democrats want to present themselves as some heroes of the black people, even though black people are saying that we are the biggest victims of black crime. Therefore, we need reform. But the Democrats, riding on their moral high horse, love to virtue signal. This is the most disgraceful thing. This is Irena's mother.
Arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget there were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irena's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders.
I didn't think he was an illegal migrant, but I don't know.
Mrs. Zaretsky, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter.
She's inconsolable. Look, it's been, how long has it been? Needless suffering. All of this could have been avoided. All of these things could be avoided if we do one simple thing, which has brought the West this far. It's the rule of law. People who live in developed countries, especially European countries or Anglosphere countries, you don't realize how critical this one particular value is in building great societies, the rule of law. It's a huge thing. I come from Pakistan. I can tell you, a society where there's no rule of law is a failed society. You automatically end up forming multiple tiers of justice. You have the ruling elite, you have the aristocracy and the influential elite, and then you have the middle class, and then you have the lower middle class, and then you have the poor people. There is a different tier of justice at each of those levels. And that's exactly how I saw Pakistan. I was from a middle class family, so our lives were not as bad as the people below us. But if I was stabbed or murdered by someone, or even robbed or beaten or humiliated by someone higher than my socioeconomic status, then no way, just swallow your pride. That's how important this single value is, the rule of law. We get bamboozled by the shining lights of Beijing or Dubai or maybe Riyadh, but they are fundamentally different from Western civilization. There is no rule of law. There are different tiers of justice. And that changes the whole thing, literally changes the whole thing. But that's what the Democrats or the lefties in Europe, in Australia, in America, that's what they're trying to do. They're dismantling this very fundamental value that made the West the greatest civilization known to humanity.
Irena.
I'm going to have to do it again. I'm really sorry.
Her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zaretsky, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irena.
And that's Erica Kirk. The amount of vicious attacks that she has experienced from the likes of that lunatic Candace Owens, and mostly left. I know Candace Owens is not a lefty. She's in a lunatic category of her own. Now let me show you who this Ilhan Omar is. She absolutely lost it when she was asked about her secret $30 million. Have a look at this. This is astonishing. I just can't wrap my head around that if something is so obvious like this, literally, in 2020, she had nothing. In 2024, now she's got $30 million. I don't think she's a genius. How did she get to $30 million? And they have no answer. And that actually tells you about the flaw in our justice system as well. That even though everyone knows that this is corrupt money, but we can't prosecute her, is there a loophole? That just tells you that how easy it is to legally come into ill-gotten funds and still not get caught.
Hi, Congresswoman Omar. You were just talking about how Trump's economy has failed the American people, but I think the American people really want to know how You went from a negative 65,000 before coming into Congress to over $30 million in just 7 years.
My disclosure is public now.
Yeah, it is. And so a lot of people now are looking into that and finding S Crew Winery, a winery that doesn't actually seem to exist. Is that a real winery or?
Even she's looking like, huh? Really? That winery doesn't exist? It's like, is that true? Look at this pathetic response.
Do you all actually look at and read things, or do you just ask silly questions?
Well, it's listed in the financial disclosure, so can you explain it? Because we have a lot of questions about it, and things just aren't adding up. There's no real phone number. There's no real location.
Why did you want to buy some wine?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Probably not from you, to be honest. Recently stated that the American people should be afraid of the white man. They should be fearful of the white man.
I never said that.
Yeah, you're on video saying it.
Our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
I did not.
Yes, you.
She first denied it, and now her mind is thinking, because this is a problem with liars, yeah? Now she's thinking, oh, did I say that? I think I said something like that. Oh, let me hide behind the golden excuse. Out of context.
Again, this is like what I said. You need to prepare yourself, because you can't continue embarrassing yourself like this.
So I'm just a liar.
What I was quoting.
I think even she's realizing that, it's you who's getting embarrassed.
It was an actual study done by the FBI.
Okay, thank you.
Just prepare next time.
All right, thank you, Congresswoman.
How is this allowed? If she made $30 million after coming into Congress, how can we not charge her? How? That just tells me how weak our systems are. And it's not only her then. I'm sure everyone's doing it. We're just focused on her because we don't like her politics. But surely, was it Nancy Pelosi? I think she's worth tens of millions of dollars too. Everyone is. And I'm sorry, I think Trump's signed some shady deals as well. But it's you and me. We have to do the daily grind. We have to work hard for every single penny. But they have access to privileged information. Ooh, this new law is coming in. It's going to help so-and-so corporation. And let's buy some shares. Corrupt. But I think Trump made a genius move by exposing the Democrats without even them knowing the blunder that they were making. It's terrible.